On to our next issue, which you also have control of. The famous teen, not known for, not a celebrity, but definitely for civil rights, Mr. Ahmed Muhammad, for the clock incident in Texas. Let's go ahead and start on that.
Another case of Islamic phobia in the United States ever since 9/11, I'd say. I mean, just a quick background on the case. Ahmed Muhammad, a 14-year-old freshman out of a high school in, I think it was Allen, Texas. If I'm right, if I'm reading that right. I don't think it was Allen.
No, it was not. It was
Irving,
yeah,
Texas, excuse me.
Yes.
Irving, two well-known high schools in that area, by the way. Irving, Texas. He was not arrested, but he was detained on suspicion of bringing not a bomb. They soon ruled out it wasn't a real bomb, but on suspicion of bringing a mock bomb, causing intent to cause panic. That's what they said it was. But in reality, it was just a really cool digital clock a kid made out of you could say nothing. I mean, so they brought him into the principal's office. They gave him no communication with his parents. He was questioned by 3 officers from the Irving Police Department, which is honestly against his civil rights for that situation, as him being a juvenile. We'll get into that later on. But he was questioned. He was later released. Eventually them figuring out that it was just a clock. They did search his property and all that stuff. But like I said, he was later on released, and it brought a whole lot of outcry, especially on Twitter. A lot of hashtag free Ahmed or
I stand with Ahmed.
Yeah, I stand with Ahmed. Yeah, that's a big one too. So I mean, it's that really highlighted a lot of Islamophobia in America since 9/11.
Yeah, it's obviously it's not appropriate. It is ridiculous going from my standpoint. And I'm going to share a little bit of personal experience real quick. We had a certain nurse who ended up passing away to cancer over at my high school. I wasn't. It happened when I was a freshman. I wasn't close with her, but a lot of the older students were. The new nurse that came in, I think it was February of the year, was a local Muslim woman whose son was actually a senior at the time. And both were or at least the son was well known and well liked. Nobody really ever brought up something, but when she came into the picture, I remember there was a lot of gossip, there was a lot of rumors that she was, that they were thinking that if they went to her for something, she was going to kill them or blow something up in their face and whatnot. And typically, obviously, you have those stupid high school jokes, especially the younger freshmen. But it's been 15 years. Or no, 14 years since 9/11.
No, it's been 15. It's been 15. Oh, wait. No,
you're
right.
14.
Yeah, I was thinking 2000, not 2001.
Yeah.
My boo-boo.
That's kind of a mistake. I guess the question is, do you think this will ever go away? Do you think the Muslim phobia or Middle Eastern phobia is ever going to go away?
It is never going. Sadly to say, this is why I say it's never going away. Because we still deal with African American racism. We still deal with racism, period, in America.
Yep.
Okay? I mean,
I won't deny it.
No, I mean, it's just crazy. I just want to go back to my death penalty statistics here. 34% of race defendants executed were black. 34%. And in the case where it was a black defendant killing a white man, 295 were murdered. Well, executed. In the case where it was a white defendant killing a black man, 31. 295 to 31.
Is a sense when does this date back?
This is as early as 2014 from the University of Washington statistics.
Dating back to what year though? It's released in 2014.
Yeah.
What do they go back to 2000 to 2000, the 90s?
All these statistics come from 1976.
Okay.
Excuse me, 1976.
All right.
Like I said, 295 to 14 interracial murders. Race is real in America, and I denounce anybody who says it's getting better. It's not getting better. I don't think it's getting worse. I think it's stagnant. I think we're seeing more of what we wanted to sweep under the rug. Race is real in America, and for Islamics, especially known Islamics, it's 10 times worse than any African American, Latino, Hispanic, let's say non-white American. It's worse for them. I mean, right here, this is a federal statistics. about detention of Muslims, initially tallying 1,200. Since 9/11, 1,200 Muslims have been detained for possible terroristic activities. None of them convicted, no evidence, they were just detained. In another one for you, Mosque in New York being regularly checked for nuclear devices.
What?
Mosque. Right here, man. You can read it yourself.
What on earth?
Mosque. Since the Bush era, over 100 mosques, homes, businesses, and warehouses owned by Muslim Americans are monitored regularly for explosive devices.
Yeah. You know,
And the crazy thing is, the whole program is organized without a search warrant, without their taking away their Fourth Amendment. Now, these are Muslim Americans. These are U.S. citizens born here, from here. No search warrant. Completely stripped of their right to search and seizure by the Patriot Act.
yeah.
Now-
that is definitely true.
Now, now you ask, is it ever going to get better? Is it ever going to be? No. Because what's the big thing about 9/11? Remember 9/11. There's stickers, there's shirts, there's websites, there's Facebook pages.
There's Twitter.
Yes,
hashtags.
remember 9/11. And what do people associate 9/11 with?
Muslims.
Muslims coming to kill Americans. Put this number in your hand. This is just common knowledge I've heard from CNN. Those attacks killed around 3,000 Americans. The correct number is like 2,970, somewhere around there. But we round up to 3,000 Americans. Since then, to present, there has been over 500,000 Iraqi civilians killed by airstrikes. In Afghanistan, half the number. See, it's crazy when we say terrorism. You have to think perspective here. To us, they're the terrorists. But to them, we're the ones terrorizing. We've almost killed over 1 million Muslim civilians in the Middle East in the name of 3,000 people. Now, I'm not saying that what happened there what happened on 9/11 was not horrific, was not bad. That we were not attacked. We were attacked by radical Muslims.
And that's the key
Muslims.
word right there.
Exactly. And people like to be like, well, all Muslims are the same, radical Muslims. Well, how about this, for example? Ku Klux Klan, KKK, radical Christians. I'm a Christian.
As I am.
I'm a strong believer. But those guys are radical Christians, burning crosses,
Yeah.
lynchings, the bombing of the church that killed 4 African-American young ladies in Birmingham, the Birmingham church bombings. They say in the name of Christ because God is white, because God doesn't like interracial actions. I've had many interracial relationships. All their fathers loved me. Well, until we broke up, of course. But, I mean, they all love me. But race is real. It's nothing's going. And it just makes me so angry because we are a country of immigrants. Nope, there is no such thing as a pure American unless you're a Native American. Those are pure Americans. They were here first. And this is a different topic. We can talk about later. But America did one of the greatest genocides ever, bigger than Hitler. Real quick, and I'll get back to him in a minute. But there was over 200 million Native Americans here before colonial.
Let's say colonial whites, really.
Colonial whites. So until Europe showed up here. Till about 1800, 50 million left. Now I'm not saying that it's because we killed them, but because of sicknesses they weren't accustomed to from Europe, wars, just moving their property around.
Slave labor.
Slave labor, yes. So I mean, America, a country of immigrants, is one of the most racially diverse but racially intolerable nations in the world, and it's ridiculous.
It is extremely ridiculous.
Yes.
You know, I know I grew up, when I was growing up, I think I first saw my first African American, no offense to you, my first African American, I saw was, I was in 6th grade, okay? I went to Goddard I went to Goddard Elementary School at the time, and all Caucasian individuals. And when I first, and I can't even, he knows me, Mr. Jordan, I won't say his last name, but Jordan and I got really along together. I didn't care. My moral standard, and I know this is going off topic, but my moral standard is that if I look at a person, the last thing I ever consider is their ethnicity. Okay. I will be respectful, and if it's I'm going to say a Middle Eastern individual, I'll ask if they're Muslim. After that, it's going to be a matter of trying to respect them and not offend them, and it's a two-way street. You know, having that mutual agreement, that mutual respect. And unfortunately, we do not see that here in America.
Yeah, and just another statistic for you. At the University of Columbia, at Columbia University in New York, a survey of Muslim students in New York public schools found that 28% have been stopped by police as a result of racial profiling. They could have been doing nothing wrong just because they're wearing a headdress or they looked Middle Eastern. They were stopped by NYPD by their whole search and frisk policy for no reason. No reason at all, violating all their civil liberties as American citizens here, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem we're facing. And I think in the case where it comes to Muslims in America, it's only going to get worse, especially with the announcement that over 200,000 Syrian refugees will be coming to the United States. I don't know if you kept up with Donald Trump lately, but in the interview he said by the grace of God, I hope he doesn't. That once he becomes president, he would get rid of all 200,000 Syrian refugees that were coming to America. He would kick them out.
That's ironic.
Kick them back. Yes, kick them back to where they came from. Now, George Bush, he gave a more realistic term, about processing them, making sure their intentions are good. But I mean, just to go out there and say we're going to kick out 200,000 Syrian refugees because, well, they could beat ISIS. They could come here looking to destroy the American way of life. No, they're coming here to join the American way of life. They want to be Americans. They want the freedoms, the civil liberties. They want to be away from the war-torn areas, which, for some reason, America has partially helped create. They want to come here and be Americans. They want to be like me and you. They want to be a part of the system of freedom. Home of the free, land of the free, home of the brave.
Yes, sir.
But we have people like Donald Trump and Tea Party activists in the Republican Party saying that these people are just terrorists, adding on to the Islamic phobia we have right now due to 9/11. And it's just wrong. That's all I can say. It's no faith terminology. It's just wrong.
And just a yes or no question from you, or I just want to get your reaction to this. This story happened just days after the anniversary of 9/11. I find that extremely ironic.
Yeah, I think. Now, I'm a proud supporter of the Blue Line, police, police officers. I'm a criminal justice major myself. I think with the whole, I think it was, the 14-year anniversary of 9/11,
yes.
And you have a lot of emotion. I mean, it affected everybody. If you were in Los Angeles, San Francisco, or in Canada, that affected the whole world, That was a big event that changed the world.
That was the economic side of the world.
And it changed foreign policy for everybody. Terrorism became real. It became so real. And I think in the wake of that, there was a lot of emotion there. And I think those police officers just took it out of context, Like, for example here, what if that was you?
Oh,
what if you brought that in? No, I'm saying, if it was you, if it was a white male, a white 14-year-old kid, if he would have brought that clock to that school,
honestly,
would he have been under that much scrutiny?
No, he would not.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to end it with that.
Yeah. The teacher would be like, oh, what do you have there? He would have said a clock I made from home. Not just automatically seeing it, not even asking the kid. They didn't even ask him. The teacher saw it, reported to the principal.
Second teacher, actually.
Yeah, the second teacher saw it, reported it. They dragged him out of class into the principal's office and interrogated. They said they questioned him. That is a lie. They interrogate. Crap. I can't even get the word out. Interrogated him like an adult male. Now, in the state of Kansas...
To a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how the state of Texas is, but in the state of Kansas, I know for a fact that any juvenile that's being questioned for a crime has to have either an attorney or a legal guardian present. They cannot question a juvenile by themselves because they might not be aware of their full civil rights. They might not be aware of the Fifth Amendment, protection of self-incrimination, So I don't know how Texas law is, but I know in Kansas that would have never happened. Or if it would have happened, there would have been way more outcry, way more consequences for that police department. Now we have come to know that the father is going to sue And I hope to God he wins, and make that be a message to anybody else who just wants to drag a kid in for a great scientific project. I mean, could you do that?
Oh God,
I couldn't
no.
even come close to doing that. So I think that should be a lesson to any else department, especially in America that has any type of Muslim population in their town. Do not go after these guys because of how they look, because of what their religion is. Actually, go after them if you're actually committing crimes, not because you assume they are. Because not all Christians are KKK members. Are you a KKK member?
Oh, no.
No.
I honestly think organized religion is a joke.
Yeah. And am I a Black Power fist-pounding guy?
Gosh, no.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we out here discriminating against a peaceful religion?
Honestly, I think it was because it just coincided with
I believe that too. I think because
a lot of emotions running, and you see that, and you're just going to react however you feel.
And it's terrible. It's a shame.
It really
is. And it's a shame how America and race equality and just racism at all is still a factor in 2000. It's 2015. We are the millennials.
14 years. We
are the millennials, dude. This is not all this racism and inequality is from the baby boomers' age. I'm sorry to admit it, but it is from the age where they were raised on white supremacy or blacks or Latinos or Jews weren't as good enough as you. That's not millennial thinking. Millennials, we don't care. We're friends with everybody. Black, white, as long as you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And I believe in the next 10 to 15 years, this will never be a problem. Because we're going to have our generation in power. Our generation that respects an individual not on the color of his skin, but by his character. I believe that.
And my personal hope is that the N-word just goes away forever.
Oh,
any variation.
Hey, stay tuned to next week. We might talk about that then. Oh my gosh.
Well, definitely that's something to watch out for, especially in the next couple of years. Even more so if Mr. Trump becomes President Trump. And we won't go already saying it. We're not going to go into who we're going to vote for. So that covers our U.S. issues, essentially. Of course, we're going to mention another one later on.